sounds expensive. You said it sounded like something broke. So you're correct, sir.
Yeah, you're pretty obvious.
It's not all hot rods and muscle cars here at Lucore Automotive Services. Front U-joint completely left the chat. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, so front drive shaft at the very least. Probably a catalytic converter because it's crunched. Looks like the trans cooler line survived. Weebos look okay, but they probably need replaced. The drive flanges got a little dry rot to them, but they're not horrible. That's not great. That's a pretty good failure, actually. It completely threw the U-joint out of there. It said, bye, I need to go. I'd like to go spend time with my family now. I gotta go. That's our failure. U-joint left the chat. Beats up the catalytic converter. Pretty good. Dual cat. Hi. Ice rocket. This is so much more pleasant when you put it in gear now. Where's my seat adjuster? On the door because it's European. That's not as far as these go back. They make these cars for short people. Oh my lord, it's warm in here. Ooh, let the hot air out for a minute. So this car has 110,000 miles on it. And it had a front U-joint failure. The customer actually stated he was feeling a vibration, thought it was a wheel bearing. And this is why you don't put things like this off. Had he brought that in and had an inspection done, he would have saved, I think that cat alone is $3,000. But nobody wants to hear what mechanics have to say about their cars, because usually ends up being expensive when something's really broken. But it would have been a lot cheaper to replace that shaft when it was just the shaft that had failed than to replace the shaft and some heat shields and an O2 sensor and the catalytic converter. But hey, the car runs again. It actually runs pretty good. Vibrations. I often have this conversation with people because they're like, oh, I like going through the quick drive-through oil change places. I'm like, well, that's great. That's great. You get your oil changed quickly, but you don't get your vehicle inspected. When we put your car up on a lift at our shop and do an oil change, we're not just doing an oil change, we're doing a 25 or 60 point safety inspection, which checks ball joints and tie rod ends and brakes and tires and U-joints, checks for leaks, checks for all sorts of things. And a lot of people seem to think they just want to drive their cars until they break, and I gotta tell you, it's a lot more expensive to do that than to have an inspection and say, hey, you know, oftentimes we'll say, hey, Mr. Customer, we got a couple things we want to bring your attention to. It doesn't necessarily mean they need to fix anything at that time, but oftentimes we'll say, hey, you know, this looks like this and got a little bit of a leak here, and you're going to want to keep an eye on that. Sometimes the customer's like, all right, well, we'll keep an eye on it. The next oil change, we'll see what's going on. If it gets worse, we'll address it. Absolutely. Save your money for now. Or sometimes people are like, I don't want to think about it. Let's just get it fixed. Yes, sir. We can do that too. That's what we're here for. But we work on a lot more than just hot rods and muscle cars. We work on a little bit of everything. This is European Mercedes Benz. We see a lot of these in the shop for different things. Got a Ford pickup in there we're doing an intake manifold on, so we do engine work, we do brake work, we obviously do chassis work. The whole repowering and restoring cars, I'm still trying to figure out how to do that in a profitable manner. The amount of hours that goes into some of these things is ridiculous, and man is it warm today. Do you have the heat on in this thing? Hang on a second. Much better. Air conditioning. We do air conditioning service too. It's about time to start looking into that. Man, I need a haircut. I got a mop on this head right now. Well, anyway, I'm gonna head back to the shop. We've got a couple of vehicles we're trying to wrap up. I've got the Cougar back together. Unfortunately, it hates me. And the speedometer cable broke on it, locked up. So I need to get a speedo cable and drive gear here for it. I did drive it down the street, and it runs, drives, and stops like it should. Feels pretty good. I've got most of my lights working. The low fuel light is not working correctly. I haven't figured that out yet. And I don't know. It's going to Jack Swack's on Friday. That's the plan. If I don't have the speedo cable here in time for it, then I will put that on after they're done with it. But I'm hoping to have the cable here tomorrow so I can switch it out, take it for a spin, and see if there's any other little things I can do to move that process forward. We actually found an entire 69 Cougar with the dash, with passenger side clock for $600. It's got a Ford 9-inch in the rear, but it would have all the wiring harnesses I need in it that we could send out, have rebuilt, and then we can just do a quick switcheroonie on the car with all fresh wiring. And that might be the way we go with that, because that would, it's a little more work to go pick up a car and crush the car and get rid of the carcass, but $600 for the car. We'll probably get $300 out of scrap for what's left. And it might have some small parts that are usable. The interior parts in that car are actually painted black. I'm gonna guess that car had a green interior, because green was in the 70s, and somebody painted the interior in that car black. So realistically, we can pretty much do whatever we want with it. We can get different colored units and paint them to match if we need. But anyway, we're making progress on that. I'm trying to get the Cadillac back in here to get moving on that project. I'm going to go back and finish putting this van together, get it out of here, get it out from under my list of things to do. I think this car is good to roll. Maybe this guy will get another 110,000 miles out of this car, at least out of that front U-joint. Check engine lights on, airbag lights on. Man, Mercedes Benz 110K, nickel and dime you to death, huh? Sometimes they do that. It's probably not as bad as a Volkswagen or Audi. I don't know. We see those in a lot for a lot of nickel and dime engine lights, sensors and whatnot. But it is what it is. It's modern technology. It's why I like analog cars. I like simplicity, because I have to deal with everything else that's complicated all day. I don't want to deal with it in my own cars. Well, you guys have a good day. I'm back at the shop. It is time to pack this one up, send it home, move on to the next thing. You guys have a great day. We'll see you soon.